Hey guys, and welcome to my first video tutorial on C++ for absolute beginners. So let's get started right away. First thing you want to do is download dev C++ IDE. You can see I've already installed it right here, but I'm going to walk you through the download steps and the installation steps. Just open your browser and type in dev C++ download. You can see that the SourceForge link opens up. You can just click on the SourceForge link. Once you click on the download button, your download will begin, and you can just save that. And now let's go through the installation procedure. You want to click yes, then it will say unpacking data. Once the unpacking of data is completed, your installer will begin. You can just select your language, press OK, I agree, next, install. Soon your installation should complete. It usually takes about a couple of minutes depending on your computer. Once your setup is complete, you'll get this screen on your window. You can just press finish and run dev C++ 5.11. If I have already installed dev C++, so I did not get the first time configurations, but it's just basically configuring dev C++ to your requirements and your personality. You can select your font color, and your background color, etc., and how your icons would look. I just use the default because it doesn't matter to me what it looks like. Now next, let's show you how to create a new project. To create a new project, you basically have to go to File, New, and Project. Choose the console application from the Basic tab. Give a name to your project, say Basics. Select C++ tutorial project if it's not yet selected, and if you want, you can make it your default language for now, but I'm not. You have to save it. I'm gonna save it right here, and then your main.cpp file will open. Main.cpp file is where all of your code will be put. So yeah, now let's go through this basic code one by one. Hashtag include IOStream. This basically brings in the C++ library, or adds the library necessaries for you to run your program. Without this hashtag include IOStream, your program will not run. Next, you have these blue words. These blue words are words that have been commented out. What that means is that these words will not be taken into account by the computer. When the computer is running the code, it will skip through this line and move to the next as it's commented out. To create a comment, there are two ways you can do it. One is by a double slash. As you can see, as soon as I put the second slash, the slash turned blue. And then you can type anything you want over here, and this will be commented out. The other way is the multi-line comment. For that, all you have to do is slash star. As you can see, everything below it has become commented out. And to end it, it is say I tried something here and then over here and then next line. And then I want to close this comment, star slash. As you can see, these lines have been commented out and this line have been returned to its original state. Next we come to int main. Your int main is basically your main function. Now what a function is a part of your code which has more code inside it. I'm not very good at explaining this, but for now all you need to understand is that your main function is where you're going to be putting most of your code. Now inside these parentheses, int argc, char, star star, argv, you do not need to worry about that right now. Just delete that. Now function this is a special function. Now I say this because without your main function, your code won't run. So how to create a function, you might ask. So to create a function, all you do is give its data type. Data types I'll be explaining just in a second. So data type, say integer data type, and then a name for your function, say func, to a parentheses, double curly braces. Now this has become your function, func. Next comes your return 0. Now return 0 basically tells the computer that it's time to stop my program. It ends the program. That's all it does. It returns you to this place. It does nothing except end the program. Okay, now comes your data types. So your most basic data type you'll be saying is your int data type. Int stands for integer data types, that is any negative or positive number. Then you have your character. It allows you to input any single character, and you guys must have understood integer, but character is might be a little difficult for some people to understand, so let's just do practical with it. Say you have your character A, or say character alphabet. Next you want to give a value to your character alphabet. So how do you do that? It's very simple. Go to the next line. And also one more important thing, guys, every time you end a line in your code, you'll be ending it with a semicolon. Without the semicolon also your program will give an error. So next you go here, and now how to define a value for character alphabet. Type in alphabet, type in your data type's name is equal to your value. So for character you can have anything in your keyboard, but it needs to be between a single inverted commas. So all you have to type in here is, say you want A. Now how do we print out this character? That is also very simple, but before that I'm going to show you one more thing. Every time you write your code, you might also want to use using namespace standard. This line allows you to use cout and cin and many other various things, but I'm only going to be telling you about cout and cin. So how do you use cout? Cout does what it says. It outputs something to the user. So you put cout less than, and if you want to display a data type value, or say now we have an alphabet, so alphabet. And if you want to display out your text, so all you have to do for that is cout less than, inside double inverted commas, the text you want the user to see. And now you might want to run your program. That is also very simple. Go to execute, compile and run. A simpler method is to do F11. There you go. A, that is our character alphabet's value, and the text you want the user to see. Simple, isn't it? Now, one thing you might have noticed is when we run this program, A and the text you want the user to see is clashing together. Now, we want them both to be on a separate line. It will look neater. So, to do that, there are two methods you can do that. One is less than, if you're printing out a value, then you can do end L, and if you're putting out text, you can just put /n. You can even use /n in alphabet, so I'll be showing you that too. So for the value, cout alphabet, that is our character data type, and to print it out, leave a line using /n. All you want to do is double inverted comma /n, the end, and you can print out the text on the next line by using endl tool. Less than endl. So once we run this program, a, next line, the text you want the user to see, and a, the text you want the user to see. So first it has printed out the value of alphabet. Next it's printed out the value of what we had entered. So basically the text, then again the value, and then the text, each on a separate line. Now we move on to our other data type. So now as we have done character data type, next we have float or double. Basically the same thing. I'll be explaining the difference right now. So float is the data type which allows you to input negative, positive, as well as decimal places. You cannot enter decimal places using integer data types. So how do you assign float? So maybe you have your float number. Now number is equal to value of the number, say 6.9, and now let's make a int number 1, or maybe number underscore number underscore, and then number underscore is equal to 6.9. So now I'll print out both of these values, cout less than number, and then cout less than number underscore. Now you'll see that first it's giving 6.9 and then 6. Let's just leave a line to make it look neat. There you go, 6.9 and 6. Integer cannot print out any decimal places, floats can. Now let's turn this into a negative number and then run it. You'll see that again float can print out the negative numbers as well as integer. So that shows that float is basically the same thing as integer. It takes up more space though. You can Google that, it's not very important, but if you want you can just check it. Then you have double. Double is basically the same thing as float, only it allows you to enter a bigger number, a bigger decimal place than float. So it has 10 digits of precision, whereas float has 6 digits of precision. It's okay if you don't understand that, it's not really necessary. Only thing you need to know is double takes up more space and float takes up less. To be exact, double takes up 64 bits in size and float takes up 32 bits in size. And you must be wondering what int is taking up. Int takes up 16 to 32 bits and character takes up only 8 bits. There's also other data types such as short int, long int, unsigned short int, signed short int, signed int, unsigned int, signed long int, unsigned long int, and long double. These long int is the same as integer, but it allows you to enter bigger numbers. So that goes. Short int is for smaller numbers. Unsigned short int is for small numbers but not that small. It's kind of like small but a little bit bigger than short int. Then signed short int is the same as short int. Signed int is the same as int. Unsigned int is a little bit bigger than int. Signed long int is the same as long int. Unsigned long int is a little bit bigger than long int, and long double is bigger than double. So that covers our basic data types. There's also one more data type, which is strings. So hashtag include string. So this brings in the string library. So you must have noticed by now that hashtag include brings in libraries and other things, and this is the string library. So what this allows us to do is, you saw that characters allow us to input one letter only. If we put in more than one letter, it would give an error. So if I put in character A is equal to, character A, and then A is equal to blah blah blah, it would randomly pick one of those and output it. There you go, it shows S. Which S, God knows. But now you can even enter a whole line using strings. So the string function, if you want to use it, you have to include hashtag include string data type I mean, and to use it you just type in string. You can see as it does not change the color. Then type in the name of your string, say example, and then example equals, say example. I'm very dumb and dull, so yeah, that's it. And then cout example, leave a line just for neatness, and you'll see example is printed out. So it helps us to store a whole word or a sentence. You can even type in a whole sentence. And by the way guys, when you're using strings or characters, remember that even the space bar is taken into account as a character. So if I write example as space bar, oops, and then I define a character, say A is equal to A, cout example, and instead of going to the next line right over there, cout A. Wait, it did not compile it. Yeah, there you go. So you'll see that the A has been printed out after leaving a space. So a space is taken into account as a character on your keyboard. It's not like if you put a space then it's not taken as a character. Many people make that mistake. Also guys, just a tip, when you're writing cout, you can even just say, if you have like, over here, you can just put in cout A right next to it like this. So it's not necessary you have to go to the next line. The same goes for defining variable and data types. You can even just put it over here. And now if I run it, the output is the same thing. So there's no errors. So you can even write it like this. Next we have cin. Now cin is where it gets interesting. Cin allows you to take an input from the user and store it in a data type. Say if you have your integer number and then you type in cin, while you're taking in an input, you need to write cin greater than, and then the name of your data type, that is number. In this case, oops, yeah, there you go, cin number, and then you can just type out cout number. The beauty of this is that you don't need to define the value of the number. The user can define the value of number. Say I type in 6, then it will print out 6. Say I type in 4, it will print out 4. That way. It's really cool, and many games are entirely based on this. I'm even going to show you one of those examples. Then you have your if and else loop. I'm not going to go into that too deeply. I'm just telling you if and else right now because I want to give you homework to create a calculator. So if checks for things, if is like it checks whether it's true or it's false. If can have two outcomes, either true or false. So how to define an if statement? Say you have your integer number. Now C in number. Now let's create an if statement. So how would we create an if statement? To do that, it would be simple. If number, that is your data type name or whatever you need, you have defined a value, then to check whether it's true you write equals equals, yeah, not a single equals, that would be defining the value, equal equal, double equals, and for not for it being false, if it is false, then for checking whether it's false you write in exclamation mark equal. So right now we're just going to check equal equal. So if number equals say 5, then we will put in the curly braces and then write out whatever we want it to happen. So basically what this is doing is, there's your int number, you're taking in the value of the number from the user, and then you're checking whether that number equals this value, and if it does, then it will run whatever is between these two curly braces. If it turns out to be false, if this is not 5, then it will just skip this whole thing and go to the next line. So well, let's just try it out. See out your number is 5, and then you have your else statement, and also else if. So if you're using multiple if statements, you don't want to use if then else, if and if and if and if. You can use if else if. So if else if you have written, and then on the next line else if number equals say 6, then see out your number is 6. Simple. And now where if you want if none of these options are true, you have one last resort, that is else statement. If both of these come back false, then the code will run to the else part, where it will do anything that is written in this if both of these come as false. So if it goes through this, the number is not 5. If it goes through this, if the number is not 6, and then only it will come back to this else. So else is simple, just double curly braces, and inside this you can type in cout I dk, that is I don't know, your number. So let's test out this code, F11, and there you go, it's asking us for an input. Whoops, just a second. Yeah, there you go. So let's type in first 5, your number is 5. Next F11, next it's again, so let's type in 6, your number is 6. F11, let's type in now 3, IDK, I don't know your number. Then also 9, I don't know your number. So yeah, this works. So this is how you'd be checking things. So guys, now I'll show you how to run calculations. So a simple way to run a there are many ways you can run a calculation. There are 2 ways I'm going to be telling you about. First way is if you have say your int add, int sub, that stands for subtraction, int division, and int multiplication. So now you have two numbers, int a and int b. So let's take in the value of a first, c in a, and then c in b. Now you have your two numbers. To run addition, what you can do is c out a plus b, or int add equals a plus b, c out a plus b. C out add, sorry. Yeah. So that is the how you can add. This one takes up 2 lines, this one takes up 1 line. Then for subtraction, what you can do is C out a minus b. So in this case, we are assuming that a will be greater than b, but I'm going to show you a code later on which will help you determine whether a is bigger or b. But for now, let's just keep it like this. So C out a minus b. Whoops, let's just leave a line, otherwise everything will get congested. And enter. And the other way you can do it is int sub equals a minus b, C out sub. Then you have your division, so you can do it as C out a divided by b. So for divided by, you use slash, the same slash you'd be using for commenting to a by b. Then int div is equal to a by b, C out div. Then finally for multiplication, you can do it as a star b. For multiplication, we use star, for those of you who don't know. And enter int mul. Oh wait, sorry, one mistake guys, I cannot redefine these values because I've already defined them here. So remove these ints. I just noticed this, I'm so sorry. And mult equals a into b, C out mult. So this is your basic kind of calculator, but this is not very user friendly. So say if I have 6 and 5, so 11, then 11, 6 minus 5 1, 6 minus 5 1, then 6 divided by 5 1. Because we have not used floats, you might want to use floats in your calculators. 6 by 5 1, 6 into 5 30, 6 into 5 30. So that's how you create a basic kind of calculator. Now the homework for you guys is to create a calculator of your own, and also output it in such a way that the user can choose whether he wants to choose multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction. If he wants to do addition, then a separate thing. If he wants to do division, then a separate thing. You get it. So yeah, do that and paste it in the comments below. I'll be sure to check it out. The best code will be showed in my next video. Okay, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please subscribe and like.